Good morning, everybody. My name is Jorge Morales, and I'm very excited to be here with you as we kick off the 15th annual EWRI conference. Today, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes talking a little bit about myself, the department, the Watershed Protection Department, and help get this conference started. I'm very excited to be here because this is the second year that I've been invited and had the privilege to open up the EWRI conference. Last year, for those of you that joined us, it was our 14th annual, and we were actually doing it at the Renaissance Hotel, which was different. We've normally had this annual conference at the Pickle Research Center in partnership with UT, but last year we tried something different. I was part of the Texas Public Works Association Education Committee, and I asked if EWRI would partner with TPWA, and we had a great event. We kicked it off with EWRI, and then we had 3 other days of TPWA conference. I think in total we had about 1,000 people in and out of this conference, and so it was very exciting. And look at us now, 2020. And where are we at? We're virtual. We've had to come a long way. I'm very excited for the EWRI board and the leadership for not letting this COVID-19 pandemic slow us down. And that's basically the definition of resilience. You all said, we're not going to stop ourselves. There's a lot of great work out there, and we want to share it, and came up with a virtual conference. I'm very excited to be kicking it off once again. I'm going to share a few slides. I won't be long, but here's an overview of what I want to talk to you about today. Quick introduction of who I am and our department. Talk about some of the challenges that we face as a department and could also be part of the same challenges you and your organizations are also facing. I'll share a little bit of my vision for the department as the new director. I call it the 3 E's, and I'm adding a new E that one of my assistant directors recently shared, and I really liked it. And I'll talk about engagement. As a leader, I think it's important for always to be engaged, so I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on that, and I'll conclude. So pretty straightforward. Don't plan to keep you too long. We have a great lineup, great agenda for today, and so I hope everybody will be able to stay for the whole conference. So with that, a little bit about myself. I thought I'd start by sharing a little bit of my work history. So you can see there's a common theme here. I've highlighted in yellow. Well, my career started in the U.S. Army. So I was in the military for a little bit over 5 years, sergeant in communications. Then I got out of the military, went to the University of Texas, where I started studying civil engineering, and also started working for the City of Austin Watershed Department as an intern. This was back in 1998. I went then on to work for HVJ Associates, where I did a geotech pavement management design for CIP project as well. And after a while, I moved on back to where I'm originally from, which is I grew up in Garland, Texas, and City of Rowlett is adjacent to the City of Garland. And so I moved back to live in Garland and worked in City of Rowlett for about 5 years. Did a lot of great things there, from project management to working with utilities, working with TxDOT, transportation, including light rail while I was there. And then I came back to the City of Austin in 2009, and I highlight that in yellow as well because I came back to the Watershed Department. For a bit there, I was in Creek Flood Hazard Mitigation Program, and then I moved on to the local flood hazard mitigation program. In 2016, I moved to Public Works, so many of you may have worked with me as the Assistant Director of our capital delivery there. Really enjoyed the time there. But in 2019, I was privileged to be selected as the next director of the Watershed Department. So in October, at the end of October 2019, I came back to the department. And our department's been very engaged in EWRI from the beginning. And I'm very proud to have participated when we formalized the EWRI team here in Austin, being one of the many team members that put that together and been part of these annual conference for many years as well. The department, just for those who don't know, our department, the Watershed Protection mission is to protect lives, property, and the environment of our community by reducing the impact of flood, erosion, and water pollution. This mission has been the mission since the inception of this department, and we try to live up to it on a daily basis. Just to share a little bit with you all of our actual structure at the department. Currently, our department has 3 assistant directors and the environmental officer. It's also an executive role. I put this slide together to show you some of the roles and responsibilities we have in the department. We're a department of 362 employees currently. We have an assistant director over field operations, and that's Jose Guerrero. Jose Guerrero, many of you probably know him. He's been at the city for a very long time, and he leads the field operations, and they do from storm drain cleaning, Waller Creek tunnel operations, open water systems. They do inspection, evaluations. It's our largest section within the department, and a very important role that they play in operation and maintenance. We also have an assistant director over support services. That's Sarah Hartley. Many of you may have worked with, and many of our support roles are under this AD. Then, like I said earlier, we have an environmental officer, and they do the planning. The policy and planning team is under them, and the environmental officer currently is Chris Harrington, and he interacts with all the development, land development code, rewrite, sustainability. Very, very important role in our department. And last is our assistant director over environmental resource management, the Watershed Engineering Division, and the Capital Program Management Office, which is a relatively new division that got started a couple of years ago. And the assistant director, I'm proud to announce that we recently selected Mike Kelly. He's taken the new responsibility. And so I want to brag a little fun fact. Our executive team at the department, at the Watershed Department, has a combined 115 years of City of Austin experience, and of that, 95 years in Watershed. So I tell everybody we are the senior most executive team. So I'm very proud to be back at the department and working with such great talent here at the department. Some of the current challenges and opportunities at the same time. As we know, we have to take challenges and turn them into opportunities. But I want to share a few of the challenges that we're having in Watershed and at the City of Austin. And many of you can relate. All of us should be able to relate. Obviously, the first one is the elephant in the room, why we're having a virtual conference this year. It's COVID-19. It's been quite a challenge for all of us, I think, in every front. So I don't even need to go into detail. But as a department, just wanted to share what we did. We were able to, within 1 week, March 16, we started planning to go remote, because as the things were starting to escalate, we knew it was important to keep our employees safe. And so March 16, we started the remote working. And within 2 weeks, the whole department was able to successfully move to a remote condition. And this includes our field operations team. We had to issue laptops, MiFis for those that didn't have internet at home. But our employee safety is very important. It hasn't stopped us from working on our mission. We've continued to do design reviews, actual design, CIP projects. We've continued to respond to emergencies, to 311. So working in this mode has definitely been stressful, but it's also been an opportunity to learn, to innovate together as a department. So I'm just very excited for what we've been able to do. And a lot of what we've done in this time is going to be able to move forward with us. And I'm just excited about that. Another opportunity that our department's been very closely working on is the land development code rewrite. As we all know, it started as Code Next, and then we went to another method, and right now there's a pause, but our department is very involved. A big concern by the community is density. We talk about density, but what does it do to flooding concerns, environmental impacts? So we're very involved in that. Climate change. Climate change impacts all of us. Atlas 14 is the next item. It's tied to climate change as the intensity of the rain. So how do we regulate? How do we work with developers in our community to keep everybody safe? Another item that we're dealing with, and you may have seen it in the news recently, but the algae blooms in Lady Bird Lake, and it becomes toxin, and it affects pets. And so we have to be in front of that. And this year, I think we were better prepared than last year. So I'm very excited about that. Another item that was relatively new to me when I moved back to the department is the homeless encampment cleanup. As we know, the city's been working with policy and tweaking it, and it's been in the news quite a bit, but Watershed took an approach of cleaning up the encampments with a humane view. And so we're trying to pair up the homeless folks with services, social services, to help them. Obviously, if they're in the waterways, in the creeks or the pipes, their safety is important, so we have to relocate them. We don't like to just come in and move them out. So that's been a learning opportunity, and working with the nonprofit organizations, other departments, and just collaborating in general, because we want to end homelessness, but in the interim, if they're in an area that's going to affect them, their safety is important. So we're working on that as well. So that's one of the things we've been working on as well. So the next slide is getting to the 3 E's. So what I've been telling the department since I came back is that my goal is for us to transform our department into a high-performing organization. and with a focus in the areas of equity, effectiveness, and efficiency. Equity is very important to the city of Austin as we rolled out the Austin Strategic Direction 2023. That's online if anybody's interested. There's various anchors. Equity is a big part of that. We want to make sure that as we move forward as an organization in Watershed, that we're looking at equity internally, externally, especially as we interact on solving problems with our community and making sure that we're addressing areas that may have been neglected in years past. We want to be effective and efficient. So that's going to take us working with other partners, the consultants, the contractors, and making sure that when we set out to do a CIP project, we're doing it as best as possible. This way we can deliver on time, on budget, on schedule, and that ties to efficiency. And so as a whole, when I was in capital delivery, we're looking to find ways to improve the way we deliver projects so we can reduce the cost. And so any ideas, we're always looking for input and feedback on that. And the fourth E that was amended by Mike Kelly recently, I found a nice quote from Stephen Covey that talks about it, which is when you show deep empathy, that's the fourth E, the empathy, toward others, their defensive energy goes down and positive energy replaces it. That's when you can get more creative in solving problems. So as leaders, as an organization, we also want to lead with empathy. And I wanted to drop that E in there as well. Engagement. I want to just touch on engagement because to me, it's very important to get feedback from everybody. Everybody has to come to the table. Everybody has a different perspective. As the image indicates, we are part of the puzzle, right? We all are helping to build this bigger puzzle and solving problems with flooding, our environment, water quality. It's going to take all of us. Very, very proud of our department. When I first joined, they had a forum on solving problems, and it was tied to wicked problems. And I really learned a lot and enjoyed it. The key to that is that we want to make sure that we're engaging not only our employees, but I try to list a few stakeholders here, but our community. Our community sees the problems firsthand. And so some of you consultants that already work with the Watershed Department, you'll see that we've been doing a lot more on that and going to the community and helping them help us identify the problem. So together we can also identify the best solution. Sometimes as engineers and scientists, we see a problem, we troubleshoot it, we come up with a solution, and we say, here's your fix. We're in Watershed trying to change that mindset where we're working with the community, our consultants, our contractors, and our peer cities, other entities that are in the area. Together, I think we can find solutions. So some of the stakeholders I listed, the elected officials, we often interact with our officials and hear from them because they're hearing from their constituents as well. The consultants, the contractors, when we have projects that we put out for CIP, it takes all three of us in this partnership to get it done. And so, as I said before, when I was in capital delivery and public works, as you all know, we set up forums to solicit feedback from contractors and consultants because as a city, we understand that we're not doing it alone. We can't build our projects without your help. So I'm going to continue that in Watershed as well. We're going to continuously solicit your feedback on how we can move forward. Another partnership that we have in Watershed is nonprofits. A lot of the work we do, we lean on our partners in the nonprofit sector. And so it's important for us to collaborate and work together. And the public sector entities. Today, we're going to have several of our partners. I see Texas Water Development Board is presenting as well. I'm just excited to see some of the leadership, the new leadership over there, that we're going to continue to expand on our relationships. TxDOT, Travis County, San Marcos, San Antonio. I've always been very collaborative, no matter where I've gone, in the North Texas area, Central Texas area, and I want to continue that. So as the director of Watershed, know that that's what we're here for, is to collaborate and work with each other and find solutions that are mutual and beneficial to all of us. Last but not least is the developers. This city is booming. It's developing quickly. And I know that the developers that are doing work in Austin want to do what's best for the community. So we're going to continue to solicit feedback from them as well and work collaboratively to move forward as we do that. With that, I want to conclude. Thank everybody for the opportunity to have me present today. It was brief, but I am excited to be in this role. I'm excited to be your partner. I'm excited to be back working with EWRI, ASCE, and other folks. And so I've put my contact information, put our department website on this page. And I just want to put it out there that I'm here. I have a leadership mindset of a servant leader. So I'm here to serve our community, our employees, and I look forward to working with all you. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and we will talk to you when we get to see each other face to face.